Welcome to another As-Is guide for Guild Wars 2. Today we're going to cover one of the more complex elements of the basics of WvW World. We're going to talk about upgrades and additions to supply camps, towers, keeps, and Stonemist Castle. We're also going to look at what it means to have tiered upgrades, what the different costs are, and so on and so forth. Right now in this video I'm showing where you go to a quartermaster at a supply camp and you could talk to them to get the upgrades, and we'll start from here. The easiest way to find a quartermaster is to find the supply depot at an objective. The supply depot is easily indicated by this barrel that you will see. The barrels are by the color of your server group for that week. So if your server is red, you'll have a red barrel, or green or blue barrel as pictured here, and it says supply depot underneath. Then usually the quartermaster is right next to it. If she's in combat, she might have run off and died, so that's something to consider. But usually you want to upgrade not in the middle of battle. The other really big thing I want to point out is these supply numbers on the top of the screen here. So like up here it says supply in depot 125 out of 125. This is really important when you're doing upgrades, especially for the personnel side, and I'll explain that briefly as we go into the tower picture. Generally for upgrades you're going to find two different types. You're going to have personnel and structural. There's also, they break it down to additions and upgrades. Upgrades kind of like reinforce or strengthen what you already have, while additions build things that will benefit your position but not necessarily increase the level of the guards or get more guards or increase the strength of the doors or walls. You also find that there's a tiering, tier 1, 2, and 3. The bottom tiers unlock as you build the top tier. So in order to even unlock tier 2 to buy it, you have to first purchase completely tier 1. So you need to get higher outfitters completely built before you get higher siege master. In order to get higher patrol, you have to fully unlock and build higher siege master. So again, tiers work up down. You don't have to build one tree completely first before you start like on another one or on a third one or fourth one. You could all build like tier 1s all together, or this one and then build your way down. But again, tiers work top down. So in order to unlock a tier 2, you have to fully build the tier above it. Another thing I want to point out is a huge difference between personnel and structural. As you'll notice that there are different costs for each of the upgrades or additions. So for instance, a higher second worker costs 5 silver, 0 karma, and 50 supply. Supply is taken out of the depot, not off of your person. So you saw in the video earlier, we went to the depot, there's 125 supply out of 125. As you upgrade an objective, the overall supply in the depot increases. So say you make one upgrade, I don't quite know like what the additional supply amount is, but the more you build, the more the depot could hold, if that makes any sense. So the big difference between personnel and structural is for personnel, the supply has to be front-ended, which means in order to build it, you have to have this amount of supply in the depot. So you need 50 supply in the depot before you can build it. And when you build it, it takes up all 50 out of however much supply you have in there. While structural upgrades, they're more you don't need the full amount in order to build it. So say you only have like 25 supply in the depot and you start build pot of oil. It'll take the 25, and when the supply caravans come and visit and drop off more supply at the objective, it will then suck supply out of the depot at that point to build that objective. Also note that different upgrades and additions take time. Right here, I don't really know what the exact timing is, like how many minutes it takes to build a supply upgrade or an addition or something like that. But that's why you have this option to hire second worker, and the workers will go and they'll fix things, they'll like repair the walls, they'll go and upgrade faster, and they'll stand around and help fight. Might not always be the most useful fighters, but they do something. So that is the big difference between personnel and structural upgrades. We went over the tiers, tier 1, 2, and 3, and we went over the costs. So silver, gold, karma, and supply. Actually, the Doliac +1 guard cannot beat the veteran guard. The veteran guard will beat them down, kick the butt off the guard, and then proceed to massacre the Doliak. So you might need to get additional guard. 2 guards plus a Doliak, and the Doliak doing its charging ram thing will defeat a veteran guard sentry. So if you're a solo player running around and you want to grief the enemy team and stop their supply, not only can you kill the Doliaks, but you can kill the sentries, which also prevent these things from getting through. Just another note, if you are attacking these caravans and there's 2 guards there and you know you could beat the Doliak before these guards beat you, if you kill the Doliak, the guards will despawn on it. Just a quick tip. Strengthened guards increases the overall level of the guards, and it'll boost them from like archers to caballists, blah 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 lists. And just overall, I think they up them by like 2 levels. 2 levels might not seem like a lot, but they'll really kick your ass, 2 levels higher than if they were just regular guards. That's my opinion. But I'm a thief, and I'm a sucky thief, so I get beat up a lot. But that's the supply camp. One other thing I want to note is supply camps regenerate supply, 10 supply every 30-second at the most basic level without any upgrades supply camp. So 10 supply every 30 seconds. I don't know if when you upgrade or build additions, if it'll increase that regeneration. That's something someone else might have to chime in on. Anyways, let's jump to tower. Oh, wait, before we do that, I did something special. So popped out some numbers. This is how much silver it costs for all of this. If you want to upgrade that, 30 silver to increase that, 45 silver for a complete overhaul and upgrade of your supply camp. Let's jump to towers.